Welcome back to Midweek in the Word. Today I thought I would reflect a little bit on something that my wife and I were talking about as we were going through our daily Bible reading together, something that we do just to strengthen our marriage and encourage each other in the faith. And we're going through the Bible, one Old Testament chapter and one New Testament chapter at a time. And this week we landed in Numbers chapter 4, where it talks about the various clans and descendants of the tribe of Levi, one of the 12 tribes of Israel that came out of Egypt, and they were on their way to the promised land. And God had some specific instructions for this one particular clan. It says in chapter 4, verse 1, the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, take a census of the sons of Kohath. That's one of the descendants of from the tribe of Levi. From among the sons of Levi, by their clans and their fathers' houses, and from 30 years old up to 50 years old, all who can come on duty to do the work in the tent of meeting. This is the service of the sons of Kohath in the tent of meeting, the most holy things. So what he's going to go on and explain is that there are certain things within the temple, or at that time within the tabernacle, the temporary temple that would go and move with them as they were heading to the promised land before it was finally built in the reign of Solomon. But at this point, maybe 400 years before all that happens, you have this moment where God explicitly says of the sons of Kohath that their job is to take care of the holy things. That's things like the lampstands and water basins and all kinds of other trays and tongs and all kinds of things that were meant to be kept separate from the holy things, the separated things for very specific purpose within the worship of God's people. And what struck us, and it's interesting, this happens all the time when we're reading God's Word. We could read a passage that we've read dozens of times in the past and something fresh hits our hearts. In this case, what hit us was maybe this kind of Americanism that kind of wells up in us, where we ask the question, but the sons of Kohath, they didn't ask for that role. What if they didn't want to do it? What if they didn't want that calling? It's interesting that at times in our lives, God gives us callings that maybe we would have said, this wasn't what I signed up for, this wasn't what I was asking for, but in God's perfect wisdom, He determined this is what I want to happen and this is who I want to do it. He may be calling you, and He certainly at times calls me, to step into roles and to purposes that run contrary to the way that we maybe even started our day or started our assumptions about how to be involved in things like the life of the church. Perhaps you've got a role and an expectation and a calling on you that didn't fit what you expected. It's interesting that God in His Word regularly reminds His people that as the wise king, He might call us to tasks that we wouldn't have otherwise signed up. We will find ourselves having to lean even more on His grace and on His strength to accomplish those things. So today I just want to encourage you. Maybe God's got you to a task that you weren't quite thinking you were prepared for. But we know this, the God who calls us is the same God who qualifies and enables us for the tasks that are ahead of us. So trust Him. Trust Him with your calling, because we know this: God never makes mistakes. Lean in on His strength and fulfill the calling to which He's called you. Have a great day.